Hello everyone, welcome to Manga Boys Man Manga reading. So we're in spooky season, and so Man Manga Boy read some spooky manga. If you like today's content, please like, comment, subscribe down below. Helps me out a lot, gives me a lot of self-confidence and strength in these trying times. Also, if you like any of these manga, please let me know down below. You know, there's a little affiliate link for Right Stuff, so feel free to use it. Anyways, let's dive into this news here, into my readings. So let's start with, I only read 3 series here. That's kind of funny. 5 volumes of Tokyo Ghoul, 3 volumes of Weakest Crest, and 4 volumes of Smoking Parade. So that makes 12 per usual. But because it's 3 series, it makes it seem like a lot less to me. Let's talk about Smoking Parade to start with. I feel like that's a good idea. Smoking Parade, created by the same authors, the same duo who made Dead Man Wonderland and the, what's it called? Eureka 7 volumes of the manga. This series is really gory, really kind of fucked up. I gotta say, I wasn't really planning on waiting to read this till October, but it kind of happened that way when I got it in the big haul way back when. This series is pretty messed up. There's a lot of characters that die, and I really, I see them dying at the beginning of the volume, but like I don't expect them to die until, well, it's clearly their time. And the story shows a lot of kind of disfigurements, people losing limbs, people losing humanity. It is it's kind of like a more messed up version of Dead Man Wonderland, really. So if you thought Dead Man Wonderland was pretty cool, I would say that this is probably right up your alley. It's about these 2 factions, the jackalopes versus the spiders. The spiders are kind of people taken over from this company who sells prosthetics, and once they sell you prosthetics and like organ transplants, they have the ability to take over your body. Meanwhile, jackalopes are like old-fashioned, and they have weapons in their prosthetics to fight the spiders. And the government thinks, the jackalopes are evil, and the people who supply the prosthetics that let them take over are good, the spiders. So there's this interesting back and forth with that in the public eye, but you don't really play around too much with that. You see mainly the spiders being insane and the jackalopes also being pretty crazy, but more good, apparently. So that's nice for them. Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest. We read 6 through 8. I really do enjoy this series a lot. We get a little bit of, prep work to leave the school, kind of start our own adventure here. We fight these demons and get them out of here so we can get going with the next arc, and the next arc is off to Maze City. Once we go to Maze City, we find out that there are even weaker people here. But Maze City is supposed to be home to the strongest dungeon, so why would it be so full of weak people? Well, we have a feeling that the demons may have taken over the kingdom, poisoned the king, killed the king, and took over, the kingdom that way. So we're still working to kind of prove that. Our main party is, of course, being hunted down. We have the 2 girls from the beginning, the girl who is a dragon and is now a little girl, and then Matthias, our main character. Kind of figuring out what's happening with the city, trying to go through the guild somewhat, stealthily and low-key, but obviously, anything that they do that they think is low-key is obviously super loud. So they beat like this chicken thing. They're like, yeah, we couldn't find the big one that was terrorizing the village. Sorry, guys. They're like, you killed the chicken thing? And he's like, nah, these 2 killed the chicken thing because I wanted them to train, get a little stronger, but it's super weak, so it's like, no big deal, right? And then they're like, that was the big one. And he's like, oh, well, it's dead, and it wasn't that hard. Sorry. And that's kind of how it goes. Pretty typical with that kind of a genre, I suppose, though. But yeah, I'm still more excited in the overall plot than I am in these individual plots. For Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest, it's pretty interesting to see what could have happened to humanity. So they always dangle that mystery over my head when I read it. So that's probably the thing I'm most interested in. It's still a really good read. I definitely would recommend it, but I can see it kind of getting a little tired for some people because that trope's just everywhere, you know what I mean? Tokyo Ghoul Jack. So this is a printed volume. If you want to know how I did it, let me know down below. or message me rather. That's probably a little bit better. And so Tokyo Jack is pretty weird. I think it's supposed. It happens before the main series. I don't know if you should read it before the main series or not. I'm in the middle of reading the main series, obviously. I didn't notice too much of an overlying gap between, the characters so far. But also I read it before really kind of getting into the Tokyo Ghoul world. So I was like, whatever the 13th district is, Friday the 13th, spooky, right? That's what came to my mind. This was pretty violent in spots, but our main characters are this redhead guy and then this guy right here. He he's an investigator, a ghoul investigator, and he's just some high school delinquent kid whose friends get attacked by ghouls. And he's got a quinque, and the other guy doesn't have shit. And they had to fight 3 different ghouls, and so they take them out, blah, 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 blah. That was pretty cool, pretty gruesome. There's a little bit of a twist at the end I don't really want to spoil, but the main character they're hunting down is, of course, a jack-o'-lantern. So I know you guys are probably thinking King, Queen, Jack. No, it's Jack-o'-lantern. That is the ghoul that they hunt down. Again, this was a okay read. Not sure if you should read it before or after. Personally, because I didn't understand what was going on in the world, I would probably say to at least read it during or maybe after, so that way you can have a little bit of a better idea than what I had going on. But yeah, you can kind of read on the back here. The ghoul named Lantern, called Jack-o'-lantern. Arima is the main character with the black hair. And the talented 7th Ward investigator. Oh, sorry. Euphoria. Yeah, I don't know who those characters are in the grand scheme of things. So maybe they'll matter more, but right now they really don't have any relevance on the story that I can tell. Tokyo Ghoul, Volume 1, all the way down to 4. So I'm sure everybody knows the story by now, but main character here thinks he's going to go on a super hot date with this girl out of his league, and then he ends up, being targeted to be eaten by the ghoul. But then the ghoul and him get in this accident with these steel girders, and he turns half into a ghoul, half into a person, because they have to give him a liver transplant or a kidney transplant, something like that, to keep him alive. And so now he's half human, half ghoul, and one eye turns black, so he wears an eye patch around. And he has to eat people meat, or at least some form of people, in order to stay strong. If he tries to eat regular food, then it tastes like sand and shit to him. This series was okay. When I was reading through it, it was my main impressions here. Until we got up to the part with Volume 3 here, this girl. And my wife is actually reading it right now. You can see that's her bookmark. So once we get over here to them fighting the investigators, and this girl whose mom gets killed by the investigators and her dad, it turns out, are fighting, I really started to get more and more involved into it. We start to kind of see how the world opens up and why the ghouls and what they do matter more and more. Initially, you think it's no big deal. Ghouls should be able to eat whoever they want because they're strong, big ghouls, but the investigators are also strong because they've adapted to the ways of the ghouls. So yeah, it actually has gotten quite a bit better. We also find out that ghouls try to eat ghouls. This is the gourmet. He's trying to just, get that next high, that next thrill by finding the next perfect meal. We get a really sweet fight here between Kaneki and this guy, the Scraper. I really enjoyed this part as well. This girl gets her eyes eaten out. That's nasty. But yeah, overall, I am enjoying Tokyo Ghoul a little bit more than even the anime from what I remember, but it has been a while, so maybe I'm just misremembering it, but I think I like it a lot more than the anime so far. So yeah, that is what I am reading right now, and I'll probably finish up Tokyo Ghoul, not before October. I'll probably get done in October and November, but we'll see about that. So far, I'm enjoying it. Like I said, I watched the anime, but I feel like the anime maybe was a little bit more rushed in the volumes of these manga were, because I don't remember these moments hitting quite as hard as they do more in the manga, because I'm like, oh shit, But yeah, that's what I read this week. What did you read this week? Did you guys read anything spooky for Halloween times, or am I the only one who's reading spooky stuff right now for the Halloween time? I doubt it. I doubt I'm the only one. But again, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this material, and we will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.